The following program contains material that may be considered offensive or unsuitable to some listeners. If you are sensitive to such programming, please tune away at this time and return at another time for another edition of Classic Hip Hop Storage Box. Now, on with the show. Greetings, everyone. This is Sister Crystal here with Classic Hip Hop and R&B Storage Box, and today I am commemorating the 20-year anniversary of the passing of the late great Aaliyah Dana Haughton. She passed away with 8 others on August 25th, 2001, in a plane crash in the Bahamas. On August 25th, 2001, a twin engine Cessna crashed shortly after takeoff at around 6:50 p.m. Of the 9 people on board, it was reported that 6 of them passed away instantly, including Aaliyah. 3 others who had survived the initial impact did not survive the night. I'm going to discuss the little known backstory surrounding the tragedy, and I'll also share some information about the 8 others who passed away with Aaliyah. Shortly after the tragedy, incident investigators disclosed some heartbreaking details about the crash. It was revealed that pilot Luis Morales III, age 30, of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, should have never been at the controls of the plane. Just 12 days before the tragedy, Morales pleaded no contest to 4 felonies, including one for possession of crack cocaine. A conviction would have meant suspension of his license. And it was reported that he did not have the experience or skill to safely fly the 10-seat twin engine Cessna that carried him, Aaliyah, and 7 others to their deaths. Black Hawk International Airwaves was listed as the charter company who had hired Morales and let him fly the aircraft only 2 days before the trip. Now, that inexperience could explain why the pilot chose to take off, even though the small plane was reportedly overloaded with video equipment, some luggage, and the passengers. It was also later revealed that the pilot was found with traces of cocaine and alcohol in his system. Sources say the small Cessna exceeded its maximum safe takeoff weight of 6,300 pounds by 700 to 1,500 pounds. Investigators also believe Aaliyah's 300-pound bodyguard and another man who weighed about the same amount were sitting in the rear, which is also where the storage compartment was located. It's the pilot's responsibility to make sure that an aircraft is not overloaded and that its contents were well balanced, said a source. With that kind of load and those heavy guys in the rear, there's no way that pilot could have made a safe flight, declares Owen Gasaway, manager of the Lantana, Florida airport where the ill-fated plane was based. And Gasaway adds that for reasons unknown, the charter company switched the plane it was sending to pick up Aaliyah from a larger Cessna 404 to the smaller 402B model at the very last minute. Aaliyah and her crew were headed to Florida from the Bahamian island of Abaco on August 25th after they finished filming her music video, Rock the Boat, a day early. The plane climbed to about 50 feet before it veered slightly and plunged nose first into a swamp near the end of the runway, killing everyone on board. Emergency personnel found pilot Luis Morales III, age 30, deceased at the controls. Aaliyah and 6 other passengers, hairstylist Anthony Dodd, age 34, and Eric Foreman, age 29, video production director Douglas Kratz, 28, makeup artist Christopher Maldonado, age 32, Blackground Records executive Gina Smith, age 29, and Keith Wallace, age 49, lie on the ground, five of them badly burned. Of the three who survived the initial impact, one died at the Marsh Harbor Clinic, one died en route to Princess Margaret Hospital in Nassau, Bahamas, and the third arrived in a coma and died at 3:30 a.m. on August 26, 2001. Scott Galen, age 41, who was one of the three who survived the initial impact, was reported as asking for something to drink. He also was reported as asking about Aaliyah and asking if she was okay. He was taken to the clinic where he passed away several hours later, as it was reported. Anthony Dodd, age 34, who was also one of the three who survived the initial impact, arrived in a coma and died at 3:30 a.m. on August 26, 2001. And I have to say, I have been unable to find out who the third person was that survived the initial impact because I was trying to get their name. So, as of now, 20 years later, I still don't know who that third person was that survived the initial impact, but we know that they eventually succumbed to their injuries and passed away also. So, all nine people who were on the twin Cessna plane passed away. Now, at the time of her passing, Aaliyah was following a rigorous work schedule. In addition to promoting her new album at the time, Aaliyah, which was just released in July 2001, about 1 month before the tragedy, she was also filming Queen of the Damned, which ended up being released that following year in 2002. Aaliyah was also scheduled to star in the follow up Matrix series in Matrix 2 and 3 as the character Z, and she was replaced by Nona Gay, the daughter of Marvin Gaye. Also, Aaliyah was set to star in the remake of the movie Sparkle, which was being produced by Whitney Houston's production company. Furthermore, she was also scheduled to be in a movie called Honey that was written around her. It was a dance type movie and everything. So Aaliyah had a lot of things going on, big plans. This was going to really be her big break. I mean, even though Aaliyah at the time she was a veteran in the music industry, she had been in the music industry for about 7 years, and that's a long time in the music industry. And a lot of people in the black community knew who Aaliyah was, but she was getting ready to cross over, and a lot more people would have known who she was while she was alive. But unfortunately, she didn't get a chance to live long enough to see her fruits come to fruition. Now, just weeks before the fiery plane crash, Aaliyah confided to some of her friends. She was quoted as saying, quote, "I'm no longer able to see past today. I just feel my tomorrows will be lived on a different universe." One insider reveals Aaliyah was very different in the days leading up to her passing. She really had this keen sense that something was about to change in her life, something major. She really didn't want to talk about tomorrow. She just kept telling people, "I see things changing. I see my role on this earth being altered. I can't tell you what's going to happen, but I have this sense that something will change and I won't be dealing with this life as I do now." Now, eerily enough, just 1 month before the tragedy struck, Aaliyah had confided that she had a reoccurring dream that she was flying away from her problems. She's quoted as saying, quote, "It is dark in my favorite dream," she said. "Someone is following me. I don't know why. I'm scared. Then suddenly I lift off far away. How do I feel? As if I'm swimming in the air, free, weightless. Nobody can reach me. Nobody can touch me. It's a wonderful feeling. In addition to Aaliyah Dana Haughton, who was only 22 years old, 8 other people passed away also, and they are Scott Galen, age 41. He was Aaliyah's bodyguard, and he lived in Papamano Beach, Florida, with his then 14-year-old son, Kyle. He was an actor who played small roles and stunts in films such as Bad Boys and Holy Men. Also, Douglas Kratz was 28 years old. He was a director of video production for Virgin Records. When he passed, Virgin released this statement about him. We extend our deepest sympathies to the family of Virgin staff member Doug Kratz. Doug was an extremely dedicated and talented professional whose enthusiasm, energy, and spirit will be missed by everyone who worked alongside him every day. Keith Wallace, age 49, and Gina Michelle Smith, age 29, were employees at Blackground Records, the label ran by Aaliyah's uncle, Barry Hankerson, and her cousin, Jomo Hankerson. Wallace was an executive manager at the label, while Smith had just taken a job as Aaliyah's press and product manager. Before the accident, Gina had called her parents to describe the island's beauty, and later that evening, family members received word that their daughter did not survive the accident. Christopher Maldonado, makeup artist, age 32, from New York, he was actually filling in for Aaliyah's regular makeup artist, Eric Farrell, while Farrell was touring with Macy Gray and was also best friends with Eric Foreman, her stylist. Eric Foreman, age 29, Aaliyah's personal hairstylist, and Anthony Dodd, age 34, also a stylist, who was Foreman's business partner and close friend in Los Angeles. Dodd and Foreman grew up together in South Central and decided to work together after surviving a drive by. Foreman and Dodd also styled Sean Combs, Jennifer Lopez, Destiny's Child, and Luther Vandross. And the pilot, Luis Morales III, age 30, was born in San Juan, Puerto Rico, and raised in a family that loved aviation. And so today, August 25th, 2021, marks the 20-year anniversary of the tragedy that took the lives of Aaliyah and 8 other people. Aaliyah was only 22 years old, and she's been gone for almost as long as she was here. She's truly missed and along with the others. They're missed too. This is a really hard video, very difficult video to make, and I want to be respectful of everyone who passed away with her because every year that goes by with this anniversary and the celebration of Aaliyah's life, I can't help but also remember those who perished along with her. So, what do you guys think? Where were you? Do you remember where you were when you heard the news of Aaliyah's passing? News spread pretty quickly. Now, Aaliyah and her people, they were in the Bahamas. And so I think it was around 8 or 9 o'clock p.m. when I saw a blurb across the screen. I believe it was a Saturday. I saw a blurb across the screen saying something about singer Aaliyah had passed away, her plane had crashed. And one of the things I remember is there was a huge lottery. I had played the number for the lottery. I usually don't play the lottery, but I had played the lottery and I was waiting for my numbers to see did I win. And I learned that I didn't win, But then it's like, well, then I ended up getting the news that Aaliyah had passed away. And it was pretty quick. It wasn't even 24 hours before the news came to the States. And one of the things I wonder about is who the three people who survived the initial impact. Would they have lived if they were in the United States? And while the Bahamas and places like that are very beautiful, we know that their hospital system is not as great, if you will, as the one in the United States. So I'm wondering if they were able to get to the hospital sooner, or if their technologies was better with those people had a chance to survive, especially Aaliyah's bodyguard. When I heard about, they were saying that he was saying he was thirsty and he wanted some water, and he was also asking about Aaliyah and asking if she was okay. And the way they was explaining that he was still talking and of his had his wits about him, I'm just wondering if he would have been one of the ones that could have possibly lived. But you never know. But my condolences to all of the families who lost loved ones on that day during that tragedy. So, what do you think? What are your fondest memories of Aaliyah and the other people? I know this broadcast can go across the world. Do any of you know people who knew the other people who perished along with Aaliyah? I've always wanted to know some more information about them. But let me know what you think. This has been Sister Crystal here with Classic Hip Hop Storage Box and R&B. And feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and until next time, take care.